Okay, welcome to the regular council meeting for August 27th, 2024. Ooh, I'm out of practice. As we gather, we are reminded that the town of Bonnyville is situated on Treaty 6 land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and is the traditional homeland and home to First Nation and Métis people today. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nation, Métis, and all First People of Canada, whose presence continues to enrich our community. Okay, we have an amended agenda presented. Do we all have that, the amended one? All right, looking for a motion to approve the amended agenda then, please, as presented. Councillor Johnson?
I'll make the motion to accept the amended agenda as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the meeting minutes from July 9th and then the special council meeting minutes from July 29th. Were there any additions or deletions, changes to these minutes? Okay, we'll look for motion to approve both sets of minutes, please.
I will move approval of both sets of minutes.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right. We will move into MPC, please. Motion to move into MPC, please. Councillor Blanchette.
I'll move us into MPC, Madam Mayor.
All in favor? Carried. All right, we've got our agenda for MPC. Any additions or deletions to this agenda?
Nothing from administration, Your Worship, sorry.
Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda then as presented, please. Councillor McAvoy.
I will move adoption of the agenda as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, and then we've got the meeting minutes from July 9th for MPC. Any changes to these minutes? No? Okay, looking for a motion to approve these minutes then, please, as presented. Councillor Schroen.
I so move.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, first order of business, proposed development permit.
I'll be dealing with it, Madam Mayor.
Hi, Joe.
Hi. The town of Bonnyville received an application for a change of use from a vacant to a gym facility at 103 5210 55th Street. This property is within a C3 Highway Commercial District of our Land Use Bylaw 1447-16, and gyms are not listed as a permitted or discretionary use within a C3 Highway Commercial District. The proposed development is being viewed as similar to an indoor amusement establishment in this instance, where instead of games, we're using exercise equipment. Current land use bylaw defines indoor amusement establishments as means of an indoor facility within a building, room, or area having tables, games, electronic games played by patrons for entertainment. Typical uses include bingo halls, arcades, pool hall, casinos, and similar games. We're looking at it, well, it's just a bunch of different gym equipment instead of the games. Adjacent land owner notifications were sent out, and as of the writing of this notice, and to date, we have not received any feedback on the proposed development. The desired outcomes would be approval of the application to allow another gym facility within the town of Bonnyville. The recommendation is that the Municipal Planning Commission approve the development permit application 24-D0077 with the conditions provided.
Thank you. Any questions for administration on this development permit? Councillor Kushner.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Not so much a question as a comment. The Ashland Gymnastic Club, that's in C3 as well, is it?
Yes.
It would be. So it's very similar in nature,
Yeah.
would be my opinion on that. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor Schroen.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to administration, just a comment. Under the desired outcomes, approval of the application to allow, should we just to play on words here, another gym facility, or just leave it as a gym facility?
We can to allow a gym facility.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Through to the CAO to Joe. What's the parking like at this location, do they meet the requirements for
They
parking
have about 4 stalls in front, and then there's the service road as well.
that they can use?
They have the 4 on site, though.
Okay, yeah, and that's enough for this type of,
It should be, because my understanding is it's going to be an evening use.
okay. Okay. Sorry, Councillor Blanchett?
Just a quick question through to administration. So in our correspondence to adjacent landowners, given that there's no definition of a gym facility in the land use bylaw, did we indicate to them that it was a gym, or did we indicate that it was?
We indicated it was a gym.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Councillor Kushner?
No questions. I would make a motion that we approve permit application 24D0077 with the provided conditions.
All right. All in favor? That's carried. Okay, next, development permit. Proposed development permit.
The next one, 24D0074.
You bet.
Okay, this one, the town of Bonneville received a sign application for freestanding sign with a variance. The property is located within a C3 highway commercial district and current land use bylaw 1447-16. On July 12, 2022, the Municipal Planning Commission had approved an application for the applicant to variance setback to use their existing piles that were on site from the previous sign that was removed when the property was sold at 5705 50th Ave. On that case, there was a 93.5% front yard and a 92% side yard variance. New piles were recently installed on the adjacent lot. When they went to install them, there was water lines where they wanted to put them, so they just relocated them to another site, to the lot to the east. And they were 1.72 meters from the front property line and 0.44 meters from the west property line. Therefore, the required setback for freestanding signs is 2 meters from any property line. Therefore, the applicant is requesting a variance of 14% on the front yard variance and 78% side yard variance. The applicant has also mentioned they would be consolidating the 2 lots into one, and in doing so, this will eliminate any of the side yard variance. Adjacent landowner notifications were sent out, and to date, we haven't received any feedback at all for the proposed development. Desired outcomes, the applicant would like to install a new sign, and it's a recommendation that the Municipal Planning Commission approve development permit 24D0074 with the provided conditions.
Any questions for administration? Councillor Schroer?
Just one, Madam Mayor. So before the sign is erected through to administration, so the lot consolidation by descriptive plan shall be done by December 15th. So is that just in principle, or is that,
I would give up some time just for land titles and surveyors.
and that'll be enough time, and then that's,
Yeah, my understanding is she's already got it in the works.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Oh, all right, we're looking for a decision on this one.
If not, I'm prepared to make that recommendation.
Staff recommendation.
The
with
staff
condition?
recommendations with the conditions. Yes, please.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, next proposed development permit.
Tonight, it's 24D0082, which is for a secondary suite located at 4305 49th Avenue. The property is within an R3 medium-density residential district, and secondary suites are not listed as a permitted or discretionary use within the R3, within the land use bylaw 1447-16. We do have a number in town that are in an R3 with secondary suites. I've also included some statistics from 2010 to 2021 with the number of suites we've issued every year. 2014 was a good year, and now we're just starting to see them starting to come back again. Adjacent landowner notifications were sent out, and to date, we haven't received any feedback for or against the development. And it's recommendation that the Municipal Planning Commission approve development permit 24-D0082 with the provided conditions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for administration? Joe, it says that there is access through the back?
Yeah, there's a rear lane on the property, so they can install this on-site parking for the secondary suite.
Okay, so there currently is no parking, but there is a back.
They'll have to, there's a back lane, so they can install their.
Got it. Okay. Sorry, Councillor Langridge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to administration, this home or project, is it a duplex?
No, it's a single-family dwelling.
It is a single-family dwelling. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I just saw that they are to provide the accommodated parking for 3 on-site stalls.
Yep.
So that is the part of the conditions that in the backyard that they have to supply a parking.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. Any other questions, concerns? No, looking for a motion then. Councillor McAvoy?
I will move the staff recommendation with the attached 4 conditions.
Thank you. All in favor? That's carried. Next, another proposed development permit.
Yes, we got another basement suite, development permit 24-D0085, location at 4503 38A Street. The application was submitted for a 2-bedroom secondary suite at the above address. The property is within an R1 single-family residential district. I've included the same stats from the previous staff recommendation. Secondary suites are listed as a discretionary use within an R1 single-family residential district, the land use bylaw 1447-16. The applicant is rebuilding the dwelling due to fire that destroyed it a year ago. In the process of rebuilding, they would like a legal basement suite in the basement. The property is located within a cul-de-sac. It does not have a rear drive or rear access. Therefore, an additional parking stall would need to be created in the front of the property to accommodate on-site parking. I have since talked with the applicant, and they will be providing an on-site, they can provide an on-site stall. He hadn't sent me the sketch just yet. Adjacent landowner notifications were sent out. I believe we received 3 that had concerns with the development. The applicant would like to have a secondary suite approved so it can be built along with the dwelling instead of renovating later. It's the recommendation of the Municipal Planning Commission to refuse the development permit application 24-D0085 with the provided reasons.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Councillor Kushner?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. So in your recommendation to refuse, so inadequate space on site to safely provide a dedicated parking stall for the secondary suite. That won't be detrimental to the look of the neighborhood. So they're providing you a sketch now?
He hasn't, I had emailed him for a sketch. I hadn't received it as of yet.
Okay. So the way it looks right now, this is what we have, is exactly what you're reporting here.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question.
Just a further comment, Your Worship. Although the recommendation from administration is to refuse with the conditions listed, if the Municipal Planning Commission decides that you want to approve it, we're recommending 4 approval conditions, one of which would be that an additional parking stall would have to be provided on site, which is something that the applicant would have to then work with us to be able to accommodate.
Thank you. Councillor Blanchette?
So they're required to have 3 on-site stalls for a secondary suite in total, correct?
Secondary suite calls for 1 additional
Additional.
on-site.
So if we approve it, they have to have a total of 3 on-site stalls. So does the concrete pad not count for 2 stalls?
Yep.
And then would there not be a spot in front of the property, or that doesn't count?
Well, we can't use
Doesn't count.
road.
Okay, that was my question. Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Sharoon?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to administration. On one of the letters of opposition, they state here that we already have sewer issues, design not proper, and demand from this suite would only compound the issue. I'm just curious about, have they had sewer issues in that area, or what's the problem there?
I don't know. I haven't,
Probably I can chip in a little bit. Part of the issue in that street is there's no back alley access on the east side and the north side of the cul-de-sac. So whereas a lot of people would store their toys in the back, the people on this street don't have much choice, so it makes for a pretty congested street. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with one of the comments back. You know, people buy in a certain location to have a certain feel, or, you know, they said they bought in that area knowing it is single family. If we start, you know, approving all these different dwellings, then it changes a little bit the nature of the environment there. So for myself, I do agree with the recommendation. It is a tight area, and, you know, what's to stop if we have one dwelling like this, what's to stop other ones? So, but those are just my comments. Councillor Kushner?
Yeah, I would be careful with that, because I know we've been talking about mother-in-law suites, because we just don't have enough suites available in the town. So that's something that we may be looking to in the future. In this case, because of it being in the backyard and there's no way to get to that and there's no back alley, I can see why this would be an issue. So it'll be interesting to see when we decide to go down that road with the bylaws, how that's all going to play out. But and I do agree, you know, inadequate space, safely provided dedicated parking stall. That won't be detrimental to the look of the neighborhood. That's the key statement for me, because then it goes to Madam Mayor's point at that point, right? Would be where I would go. But it's going to be interesting in the future on how we, if we decide to go ahead with that bylaw, what it's going to look like. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, any other questions or comments? Councillor Johnson?
Just more of a comment. I've been down this street a number of times, dropping kids on and off, visiting. It's congested at the best of times. Wintertime, it's worse when we're trying to clear snow and everything out of there. The design of these neighborhoods have been made to have narrower streets, no back alleys, so we can fit more houses on. And, you know, that was long before our time. And for me, adding extra people in there makes it a lot tougher, and I would be leaning more against this, mainly because there's no back alley access to park to free up space. And I think the neighborhood's too tight to be having a bunch of extra suites in there.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you, Councillor Johnson. Okay, we're looking for a motion. Who wants to be the bad guy? What say you, Council? Councillor Langridge?
I'll make a motion to go ahead and with the staff recommendation to refuse the application.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, and a motion to move out of MPC, please. Councillor Kushner?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
All in favor? Carried. All right, now we're going to move into the subdivision approving meeting. Councillor McAvoy?
I will make the motion to move into subdivision approving authority meeting.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. We've got an agenda before us. Are there any additions to this agenda? No?
no, Your Worship.
Councillor Blanchette?
I'll move adoption of the agenda as presented.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. And then we have the meeting minutes from June 25th. Motion to approve these minutes, please, if there are no changes. Councillor Johnson.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes from June 25th.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, we've got an application for a subdivision. Who wants to speak to that?
I will be speaking again, Madam Mayor. I believe this is subdivision application number 3. It's a typo on the top of the, should read subdivision 24, or SA 24-003.
Yep.
Is their subdivision. We're processing the application again for our 10 acres for the, for future water reservoir that we did back in 2022. Basically, the property, the approval, they never got registered and it timed out, so that's why we have to go through the whole process again. Currently, the land is going to be redistricted from an urban reserve within the current land use bylaw 1447-16 to environmental reserve and public utility lot. All the offsite levies required for the newly created parcel developable area of this proposed subdivision is approximately 2.02 hectares. The offsite levy for the new parcels will be approximately $157,112, which is due in accordance with the offsite levy bylaw 1311-07 at the time of the sale of lot or development/building permit stage. Once the final lot plan of surveys provided for endorsement, offsite levies can be verified. Adjacent landowner notifications were sent out, and at the writing of the document, we hadn't had any responses regarding the development. I did have a couple of calls. For some reason, people thought our water reservoir was a pond. So other than that, they were okay with it if it was going to be a building like we had at our their bulk water facility. All the other agencies replied back that had no issues with it, and its recommendation that the subdivision authority approve the subdivision application subject to the provided conditions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for administration on this? Councillor Kushner?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. So this can take many forms, the reservoir. It could be underground.
Yeah.
We could have a park on top of it. People wouldn't even know it's there, basically, right?
Correct.
So I would, yeah, definitely like to see that. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that that was out there. It doesn't have to be a big, ugly building.
No.
It could be a beautiful little park as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, if there are no other questions, we're looking for direction on this. Please. Councillor Johnson?
I will make the motion that the subdivision authority approve the subdivision application subject to the provided conditions.
All right, all in favor? That's carried. All right, let's move back into regular meeting. Where's my Councillor Sharoon?
I move us back into regular meeting.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Sorry, I need to find my agenda here. Got it. Okie dokie. Okay, first up, bylaw, intermunicipal subdivision and development appeal board.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. At the June 18th Governance and Priorities Committee meeting, administration presented a letter from the Municipal District of Bonnyville, which requested that the town join their intermunicipal subdivision and development appeal board. Each municipality wishing to become part of this joint board must pass a bylaw to do so. Bylaw number 1575-24 has been drafted for the town and is a similar bylaw that will be presented to each of the partnering municipalities. The partnering municipalities will include the MD of Bonnyville, the town, the Village of Glendon, Summer Village of Bonnyville Beach, and Summer Village of Pelican Narrows. Partnering with our neighboring municipalities reduces the challenges of municipalities face in finding local residents to participate on these quasi-judicial boards, as well as reduce the staff time required when an appeal is received. Administration is requesting first reading tonight and will bring this bylaw back to the September 10th regular meeting for second and third reading. This will ensure the bylaws are approved and the agreements are in place prior to the organizational meeting in October. We are asking that council provide first reading to bylaw number 1575-24.
Thank you. Any questions on this bylaw? No? All right, we're looking for first reading. Did you have a question?
Yes, just a quick question. On the Schedule B, through to administration, the remuneration and honorarium, which is
Page?
page 67 of 388. And then when you go to the Schedule B on page 87, the remuneration there, they don't match on that Schedule B.
The Schedule B on 87 is the current bylaw that we have with the town right now. The Schedule B on page 67 would be the remuneration paid if we enter into the new bylaw.
Okay,
And that's rates that would be approved by all municipalities, should the bylaws be.
Okay, and where did those rates come up?
That was coordination between the 5 municipalities, and based on the rates that we pay our lay members now, and just going over and figuring out what was the best rate to put in this bylaw.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good question, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Kushner?
We both have the gray hair going. I like that it's intermunicipal. We need to do more of that. So that being said, I would recommend that we do first reading bylaw number 1575-24.
All right, thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, next, bylaw, Joint Assessment Review Board.
Thank you. So similar to the ISDAB bylaw that was just approved for first reading, the MD has also requested that the town join their assessment review board with the 5 partnering municipalities as the ISDAB. So for that, bylaw number 1576-24 has been drafted. And again, we will ask that it have first reading tonight with it being brought back on September 10th for second and third reading, so it's ready for the organizational meeting in October.
Okay, any questions? No, we're looking for first reading then, please. Councillor Blanchette?
I'll move first reading to bylaw number 1576-24.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next, next we've got all our financials from June and July, the bank reconciliation, capital, and operating. Just in the interest of time, I'll give the floor to Renee if there's anything outstanding in any of these that you want to bring to our attention, and then we'll open it up for questions on any of these reports. And then we'll look for a motion to approve them all in one motion, if that's all right with council. Okay, thanks.
Nothing to bring to the attention. The June is the detailed report, and the July is the summary report, and I ask for any questions to be directed.
All right, thank you. Councillor Johnson?
Through to administration, just a couple of questions on the operating financials. The landfill
month?
lift, pardon me?
For July?
Yeah, for July.
Got it, thank you.
It's running current with both of them. It's about the same. So in July, landfill and the landfill and transfer station is over budget by about 10%-ish, right around in there. And so is the library on those reports. Can we just get a little report why they're over a little bit?
Yeah, the landfill and transfer station, that has to do with the approval that was done just before we closed for break for the capital equipment replacement requisition that the Beaver River Regional Waste Commission asked for, $55,000. So that's coded there. And then the library is due to an increase in building repair and maintenance, mostly for their doors, just little areas like that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Councillor Blanchette?
Thank you. On the capital financials, you can look at either month. Under recreation, it's significantly over budget. I assume that that's from the purchase of the Nelson Lumber Building.
You are correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Scharoun?
Yes, on the same, in July, the Bonnyville Capital Report, the roads and sewer are also over budget there, and it looks like we didn't get all our grant funding in as of yet, on page 175. Roads and storm sewer.
So the roads, I still have as being under budget right now for expenses, but the reason for the operating revenue, or capital revenue, a lot of our grants have not been received yet. As well, the ID 349 funding comes in December, and that's what covers a lot of these costs, so you'll see the revenue probably not until December.
Okay. And two more questions on page 178. The 911 services, we haven't gotten any revenue from that, so that should be coming in, I take it as well. Am I reading that correctly?
We don't receive revenue for 911 services. That goes directly to BRFA, and then they put those, that's how our contract is figured out, by looking at the rates from the revenue that they receive. And
Okay, thank you. And the other one, last question, the handy bus, there's some expenses there. So are those expenses due to the operating, or are those like repairs?
a lot of it is to do with repairs. We will have one coming up, I believe, this month, just due to the CVEP inspection that's going to be needed. And then there's still money from the Imperial Oil Grant Fund that will be brought in at the end of the year to pay for those expenses.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions for any of the reports presented? Okay. We'll look for a motion then, please, to approve all of the financial reports. Councillor Kushner?
I'll make the motion that we approve all three of the financial reports, or no?
All six.
Six. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All in favor? Carried. That just cut our meeting in half? No. Yeah. All right, so new business. Approval for Councillor Blanchette to run for president of the FCSSAA board.
Thank you, Your Worship.
After that.
Since November of 2022, Councillor Blanchette, having been endorsed by council, was elected to the FCSSAA board, not too many A's, to participate in her capacity as our elected official on behalf of the town of Bonnyville. Since she has expressed an interest in also running for the president position of that board, we require an additional motion from council to approve her running in this capacity. If successful, she'll be expected to serve at least a one-year term. Our recommendation, therefore, is that council approve Councillor Blanchette running for president of the Family and Community Services Association of Alberta as a town council representative.
All right, any questions from council? Councillor Johnson?
I'll be nice on this one, so. Just teasing. So I sit on FCSS, and Councillor Blanchette has a heart of gold when it comes to that organization. It's a deep passion of hers. Her knowledge in that organization is huge. Having a local member being the president with that organization would be very big. They regularly meet with the ministers, premier, and things like that, so it does help bring attention back to our municipality. And I have no doubt that she's very capable of doing that job. So with that, I would be happy to make that motion for her.
All right, thank you very much, Councillor Johnson. All in favor? Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, did you have, I'm sorry.
I was going to ask one question.
Sure, yes, yes, my apologies.
I just want to confirm that this is a no-cost position to the town of Bonnyville or the ratepayers in Bonnyville, am I correct?
No, the town of Bonnyville would be responsible for my time, as they already are in my position that I'm already serving. It would be no additional
So
time.
no increased cost.
Excellent, thank you, my apologies for that. All right, if there's no other questions, we will call the vote. All in favor? You did, right? Yeah. All right, with that, we're happy to see you represent us. I know you'll represent us well, and good luck in your campaign.
Thank you.
No, I know you're gonna rock it. Okay. All right, we're ratifying a decision to purchase some tickets for the Your Region, Your Voice event.
I can speak to that, Your Worship. The Chamber of Commerce Your Region, Your Voice event is being held on September the 5th at the Cold Lake Energy Center. Because this event is scheduled just a few days after our summer break, Council was previously contacted by email about this, and a consensus was reached to send 2 council members to the event at a total cost of $300 for 2 tickets. The event is being presented by both the Bonnyville and the Cold Lake Chambers. And the recommendation is the council ratify the decision to purchase the 2 tickets at a total cost of, I believe it's $300.
All right, thank you. Motion to ratify the decision that was already made.
I so move on the decision to ratify as previously made.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Next, canceling the September 24th regular council meeting.
I'm getting all the tough ones tonight, Your Worship. The AB Munis Conference, as most of us are aware, runs from September 25th to 27th, and on the 24th, council will be required to travel to Red Deer, and some of you will already be present who are attending the pre-council session. So our recommendation, therefore, is the council cancel the regular council meeting scheduled for September 24th and resume regular council meetings on October the 8th.
All right, thank you. All in favor? I mean,
I will move, I will move the staff recommendation.
thank you, Councillor McAvoy. All in favor? Thanks. Shouldn't have assumed. Okay, where are we? Okay, approval of additional funds for the 4-H purchase.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. At the May 28th council meeting, council made the motion to approve spending up to $5,000 to purchase an animal at the 4-H sale and donate the meat to a nonprofit organization. Councillor Langridge, Sharoon, and Mayor Brasso attended the event and purchased the animal at a cost of $6,221.25, and the cost to cut and wrap the meat for donations was $875.45, for a total cost of $7,096.70. As this amount exceeds the original approved amount, an additional motion is required to approve the remaining amount of $2,096.70, and a total of 8 not-for-profit organizations were beneficiaries of the donation. Our recommendation is that council approve the additional cost in the amount of $2,096.70 for the purchase of an animal from the Bonnyville and District 4-H sale.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this recommendation? Councillor Langridge?
I'd just like to speak to it a little bit, Madam Mayor, and I know you guys, you and Councillor Sharoon were with us the evening, and the Bonnyville sale went phenomenal for the 4-H group, which had been absent in our community for the past 3 to 4 years, since the sale of the auction mart just north of town. So it was great to see them back. The Ag Society did a tremendous job of hosting the event. And then I was lucky enough, with the help of Councillor Johnson, to go and deliver some of the meat packages that were put together for the not-for-profit groups, and I can say it was very, very well received. I think it went to a lot of the different organizations that were in need, and it was very well received. So I just wanted to make that comment, and I would be happy to make the motion if there's no other conversation on it.
Questions? No? All right, go for it.
So I will move the staff recommendation to approve the additional cost for the event.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, dates for the 2025 budget delegation presentations.
This year, it looks like we're going to have about 27 community organizations that will be needing to present in front of council, and those are for organizations who ask for over $1,000, and they're based on last year's recipients. And last year, we did do 3 special council meetings. I believe they started at 1 till 3 or 4 for one day, 9 till 12 another day, and again, 1 till 3 or 4 the last day. So we're asking that we schedule 3 special council meetings again this year for the same reason, and we've selected 4 dates that could possibly work, and that will bring it in time for a first draft of the budget.
Okay. I'll right off the hop, the 24th, we're gone for AB Munis. So we'll have to take that one off. Councillor Sharoon?
And on the 19th, could we have it in the afternoon, as I have a chamber meeting at noon, please?
Yeah, we also have a BRFA meeting on the 19th in the morning.
Yeah.
I can schedule for the afternoon, or mornings or afternoon better for the 18th and the 23rd?
18th to 23rd are fine.
Yeah, Counselor Johnson.
For me, I probably wouldn't be able to attend the 23rd as of we are going to be going to the conference. So for me to miss a whole week of work, pretty much, it's pretty tough. So
I would agree.
I wouldn't be available that day, and depending on my schedule, I'll do my best to attend. If I can't, I do, like I did last year, I did watch the recording of the presentation. So going into the budget, I know what the asks were, so.
Can we not use the Governance and Priorities Committee meeting? We have that on the 17th.
We can definitely add
That's
that
already,
date. Yeah,
it's already a slotted time, so we
Yep.
should take advantage of that time as well.
okay, definitely.
Okay, me,
17th, 18th.
yeah. Okay, so just, we'll send out an email 17, 18, 19th and
Yep.
see who's all, can all go. Because I'm in the same boat as Byron. Counselor Johnson. Counselor Sharoon, I'm sure. All right,
Sorry,
any
we-
other conversation on that? Yeah?
Do you need a motion to approve up to the
Oh, yeah,
three
yeah.
special council meetings?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yes. Okay, motion to approve the special
I
council.
will give you the motion to approve the 3 special council meetings in September, dates to be determined.
All right, thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, now we're looking, we've got a funding request for the Lakeland Society for Truth and Reconciliation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attached is a sponsorship and donation request from Carita Vasho, President of Lakeland Society for Truth and Reconciliation, inviting council to attend the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, NDTR, activities as well as support for this event. Included in their requests are community peace officer escort on September 29th for the drive through town procession, an invitation to attend the Orange Shirt Walk down Main Street, a monetary donation in the amount of $500 to help cover the cost of the event so that it can be free of charge. In 2023, council approved a donation in the amount of $500 for NDTR. They are expecting between 200 and 300 people to attend this event. Administration is recommending that council approves a donation to Lakeland Society for Truth and Reconciliation in the amount of $500 for the 2024 National Day for Truth and Reconciliation.
Okay, thank you. So we'll just send out an email invitation to these events, and if you can attend, then just let Tracy know. I don't know if we need to do an RSVP or not, but if you can attend. And then we can discuss the matter of the monetary donation. Are there are there any questions? I'm just like trying to get through this. No? All right. So we're looking for a decision on the monetary donation. Councillor Blanchett?
I'll move the staff recommendation that council approve a donation to Lakeland Society for Truth and Reconciliation in the amount of $500 for 2024 National Day for Truth and Reconciliation.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, next, residential tax incentive appeal.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Administration received an application from 183769 Alberta Limited for an exemption and tax incentive agreement for roll number 4613, a new improvement constructed at 4506 70th Street. There is a typo in the RFD. Upon review of the criteria requirements, it was discovered that Section 41B of Bylaw 155623, which is the non-residential tax incentive bylaw, was not being met. This section states that new developments or renovated developments may be eligible for an exemption and tax incentive agreement, provided that the property subject to the new development or renovated development must not have development compliance issues, be in violation of a development agreement, or be in violation of the Safety Codes Act at any time during the taxation years for which the exemption would apply. This application was refused based on the deficiency under Section C2441 of the Safety Codes Act, where the architectural C1 and C2 schedules remain outstanding. It It was noted in the refusal letter that upon submission of these schedules, the application would be reevaluated. As per the appeal letter, these deficiencies are in relation to an interior staircase and a steel exterior staircase. The interior staircase was built to residential standards to accommodate the required space in the upper storage room. The exterior staircase includes non-closed risers and lack of spindles. The letter states that performing the adjustments required to obtain the schedules would be cost prohibitive as they would require significant structural changes, and the decision to make these changes to the stairs were made prior to our tax incentive program coming into effect. The appeal letter also states that these stairways are not open to the public and are only accessible by a very limited number of employees, and that these issues are identified as non-life safety issues. The town's planning staff had conversations with representatives from Overdrive and provided an option for them to contact the Safety Codes Council to apply for a variance of the building code for these deficiencies. If the variance was granted, then the Schedule Cs could be supplied. As per the email correspondence, Overdrive has spoken to a consultant and they can't get compliance on the issue with the interior stairs, and a variance on this item is not realistic. The estimated property tax exemption amounts based on the difference between the 2023 and 2024 assessment amounts and the 2024 municipal tax rates total $72,250 over the 5-year period. Administration is recommending that council uphold the decision of the CAO to refuse the application for tax exemption for roll number 461300 for the property located at 4506 70th Street, 70th Street due to the criteria requirements in bylaw 155623 not being met.
Okay, thank you. All right, are there any questions for administration on this appeal? Okay. Councilor Blanchett?
Okay, so there's lots of stuff provided, and I think I've muddled my way through it, but in the letter from the applicant, it indicated that the deficiencies didn't affect their ability to obtain an occupancy permit. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's up to code, correct?
I will defer that to our GM of...
Correct. When we were doing the occupancy review, Willie from Overdrive had asked us to look at getting his occupancy so he could go from carrying his construction insurance to just regular insurance, I guess, on the building. So we were doing a review. All they needed to provide us was their Schedule Cs. So I made a call to our SEO. I said, are these some major issues? They said, no, we just need our Schedule Cs. So I issued the occupancy permit with the condition of provide the Schedule C documents, and then it'll remove the non-compliant part of the building permit.
Right.
I would like to say the condition for the schedules, we've had that, we've been doing that for years, especially in 2014 when things were going so busy, engineers were behind, so, but that was the reason.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Any other questions, comments? Councilor Langridge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, we've never seen an appeal on this because this is a relatively new bylaw for us. And I know we're very keen on having these bylaws and sticking to them so that we set the standard for everyone. Now, this one, kind of similar to Councillor Blanchett's comment on, so it's good enough for them to be in it. It's been explored that it's not a safety standard, it's not a safety concern. The one issue that can't be ratified is an interior staircase that is to residential code, not commercial, which I had to do a little bit of homework. I believe it's like an inch on each staircase is considered commercial over residential that the public doesn't use. So I have a hard time, we put this, we wanted to spur construction and new builds in a community that hasn't seen any in multiple years. We've been, the gentleman at Overdrive and his partners, they've built this brand new shop. They look to take advantage of this new incentive bylaw, and then we turn around and look at it, say, well, we've allowed you to occupy the building, but because your stairs are only residential, not commercial, we're not going to give you the incentive, but thanks for building anyway. So I have a really hard time with this one because if it was a safety standard issue, I 100% agree if, you know, the building isn't safe and we've allowed them to occupy it. But to say no to someone that is invested in our community because they have stairs that are residential standard and not commercial, I have a hard time with it.
Good points. Yeah.
Madam Mayor, through to council. We're talking about a relative statement of safety. It is still ultimately a violation of the Safety Codes Act. The municipality is able to issue an occupancy permit based on a threshold known as significant completion. And significant completion is when the bulk 98+% of the compliance issues have been dealt with. And on top of that, I would suggest that our director was doing a solid for this business, allowing them to drop their construction insurance and not to, I guess, delay the process of being able to move into this building to a significant extent. That said, there was a conscious decision made at some time during the construction process to deviate from the compliance of the staircase. Ultimately, the reason why they can't get their schedules is because the architect won't release them because there's a compliance issue. So I would suggest that the architect did not draw up non-compliant stairs. There was a change order made at some point during the construction process to modify this staircase. Whether or not the public can't use it or there's only a limited number of people, well, there isn't any flexibility in the Safety Codes Act for that. Really, the holdup isn't the community or the municipality. The holdup is this deviation from the original drawings that were compliant. And if the architect can't release the C schedules, then the building inspectors can't remove the non-compliant status.
Okay, thank you. I would agree with all your comments, Councillor Langridge. They were the same notes that I had as well. And my question in regards to the interior staircase, it sounds like we almost, to your point, is a detriment to the builders, because if we're allowed to approve things when it's at 95% completion, then, you know, how does that contradict the bylaw? Or I guess, you know, it's the chicken and the egg. They started and then we came up with this bylaw. So, you know, I do think it's a detriment to the owner in this case. And again, my comments would be the same as Councillor Langridge's.
Just to chip in, Your Worship, so the occupancy permit was issued with deficiencies. So when it's issued with deficiencies, there's an expectation that those will be cleared up, whatever the deficiencies are. So I agree with what Dan and Joe said. In this case, we have a situation where there's a non-compliance. I don't put myself in the position of judging whether municipal risk is best served by a little non-compliance or a lot of non-compliance. In my world, a non-compliance with the Safety Codes Council of Alberta should be corrected before we back it up. Now, just to add to that, if they correct these deficiencies anytime in, correct me if I'm wrong, Renee, the next 15 years, they can turn around and apply for this rebate program and be granted it.
All right, thank you. Are there any, Councillor Kushner?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I agree with the CAO and with administration, and two reasons why. They state that it's non-life safety issues, but safety issues are safety issues, right? Somebody falls, somebody gets hurt, we allowed this to happen, are we going to be on the hook? Because you know the insurance companies are going to be going after every last individual that has anything to do with this. So I would have a real problem going forward with this and saying, oh, it's okay, and we'll still give you the money. Now, that being said, we have a bylaw, and I believe we have to follow that bylaw. I agree with you, Councillor Langridge, that we put this to try and get people to spur economic development. 100% agree. But if we go down the slope of changing things in that bylaw, it's a very slippery slope. And then where's that bylaw? What's the use of having the bylaw? That's where I have issues with it. That being said, I would love to see if we can come up with something else that maybe we could help them with, apart from this bylaw. But as far as giving them the go-ahead to say, well, it's non-life safety issues, it doesn't matter if it's non-life safety, it's still a safety issue. And that's where I defer to administration that it is a safety issue. And I think that we really shouldn't go down this road, in my opinion, that if we pass this, I think we're setting a dangerous precedent, would be my opinion.
All right, thank you. Councillor McAvoy?
Just a question through to Joe here, and possibly his boss. Aside from this bylaw, we have a building with an occupancy permit that is code deficient. What's the process that'll be followed to address that code deficiency outside this bylaw? You know, are we just going to, on the occupancy permit with the deficiencies, leave it sit like that for the next 45 years, or is there a process in place to address that with the owner?
You could address it with the owner, but then we're talking legal action because it's going to involve lawyers. It would be, if you push it as a point that it has to meet the codes, then those stairs would have to be updated. And then you can't, if it's not as the municipal affairs put it towards me, if it's not a immediate life safety issue, it's really hard to force compliance.
That's quite interesting.
Just a quick question, Joe. As part of the building permit process, will the safety codes representatives order them to make corrections? Will orders be issued by our safety codes inspectors on this? Do we know?
So our building code people haven't requested them to change, just to provide the schedules.
Yeah, the issue is we can't get the schedules because the architect isn't willing to release them because they're not compliant. So the easiest thing for all concerned would be if he were to correct the deficiencies, the schedule could be released, they would be compliant, and then everything could move forward. And you know, as I said before, if he does that any time in the next 10 or 15 years, we can revisit this, and as soon as the deficiencies are corrected, they let us know, and we can approve them for the program.
Okay, Councillor Langridge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I guess to further Councillor McAvoy's comments, and that was the same question I had for administration, is, so we say we've issued a building occupancy permit with deficiencies, but nothing will happen after this. We have no expectation of those deficiencies to be corrected. So I understand your comment, Councillor Kushner, about how, you know, we don't want to be a part, but we've already allowed occupancy permit with these deficiencies, and our safety codes officers and the group that we use is also not concerned and not doing anything going forward. So for us to say, no, you can't have this incentive because you have deficiencies, we've already allowed them to occupy this without any expectation of changing their deficiencies. So that's where I'm kind of struggling with this.
Sorry, just chip in, Your Worship. Tonight's decision has very little to do with the occupancy permit. It has more to do with the fact that the bylaw you approved says that you won't approve these things if they're not compliant. So this is the issue. If you want to approve in contravention of the previous bylaw you've approved, we can make changes to the bylaw and bring it back to a future meeting.
But there is an appeal in place, and we do have the power to approve it, do we not?
Your council, you have the ability to change bylaws and make decisions.
I would like to say, add, most of the time when they're requesting the occupancy permits, about 90% of the time they're already in the building, using the building. It would be great if everything was met beforehand, say, here's your occupancy permit, and then you can occupy. But they were already in, most of the people are in the building, so we try to be, well, okay, get me the schedules and we'll be fine, so.
All right. Councillor Lightridge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I guess a question to administration. So to that comment, Joe, how often, you say it's very often that we have occupancy permits while they're in the building already? And so how often do we have occupancy permits with deficiencies?
Nothing this is about the first one I've seen that's required the schedules. Most of them I just note, make sure the addressing is posted, that's about it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we are looking for, I see here, the recommendation is to uphold the decision. So we're just looking for a recommendation. Do we need it in form of a motion? Yeah. Councillor Kushner?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I would do the staff recommendation that we uphold the decision of the Chief Administration Officer to refuse the application for tax exemption for roll 0046130 for the property located at 6708 50th Avenue due to the criteria requirements in bylaw number 1556-23 not being met.
All right, thank you. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Next, Lakeland Heat lacrosse team. Funding request.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attached is sponsorship and donation request from Daryl Hodinsky, coach of Lakeland Heat Junior B lacrosse team, requesting a donation in the amount of $1,000 to attend provincials, which was held in St. Albert on August 2nd to 4th. Earlier this year in March, Council approved sponsorship to Lakeland Lacrosse Association in the amount of $2,000 towards the Ice Melter Tournament, which was held in Cold Lake. Administration is recommending that Council approve a donation to Lakeland Heat Junior B lacrosse team in the amount of $250.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments on the request for donation? Okay, looking for a recommendation. Councillor Schwerin?
I move that council approve a donation to the Lakeland Heat Junior B lacrosse team for the amount of $250.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Okay, four-wing request for Oktoberfest.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attached is a sponsorship and donation request from Janae Wandler from Four Wing Personnel Support Programs, PSP, requesting sponsorship in the amount of $7,875 towards Oktoberfest 2024, which is being held September 21st in the Club 41 parking lot of CFB Cold Lake. There are 400 tickets available for this event at a cost of $40 each. The budget for this event is $34,000, with revenue to fund this event being derived from ticket sales and bar sales. Sponsorship has also been requested from the City of Cold Lake in the amount of $10,000, but no decision has been made yet. Council hasn't sponsored the Oktoberfest event in the past, but earlier this year, Council sponsored the Cold Lake Air Show in the amount of $25,000. Administration is recommending that Council deny sponsorship to the Four Wing Personnel Support Programs, requesting sponsorship in the amount of $7,875.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions or comments? I think did we send a counselor last year or no? Oh, I thought we did. Okay. Well, I guess just a note that I I wouldn't compare this to the air show. I think they're two different entities. So I'll support whatever council's recommendation, but I like to see us at least sponsor this and, you know, even a small amount, even if we saw our regular 250, but that's just my 2 cents.
If I may, why is the recommendation to deny it?
This one was, we had not sponsored it in the past, and this is an event that's usually paid for through ticket sales and bar sales. And because it was limited to the 400 tickets, it was just felt that by administration, considered it not open to the public.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? No? Looking for a recommendation. Councillor Kushner?
Yeah, I would recommend the staff rec that we denied sponsorship to the Four Wing Personnel Support Group for their sponsorship amount.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, attendance to the 2024 AB Munis pre-convention sessions.
Thank you, Your Worship. So Mayor Brasso, Councillor Blanchette, Kushner, and Sharoon have requested to attend the 2024 Alberta Munis pre-convention sessions scheduled for September 24th in Red Deer. There's a number of sessions on the go, including council's role in public engagement, legal seminars, effective meeting schedules, things like that. And this would require traveling up a day early on the 23rd and being present for the day of the 24th. So as the amount and the costs, which are budgeted about $2,400, have not been budgeted for, our recommendation is that council approve the councilors' attendance at the pre-convention sessions with funds to come from the council training, mileage, and subsistent budget.
All right. Thank you. Any questions? All right, looking for a motion then, the recommendation, please. Councillor Sharoon?
I move that council approve Mayor Brasso, Councilors Blanchette, Kushner, and Sharoon to attend the 2024 Alberta Muni pre-convention sessions with the funds coming from council training, mileage, and subsistence budget.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, the Bonnyville Health Foundation Gala sponsorship.
Thank you. At the August 20th Governance and Priorities meeting, Don Weber with the Bonnyville Health Foundation made a presentation to council requesting that the town become the presenting sponsor at the Health Gala annually. The cost to be the presenting sponsor is $25,000. Although this event does not take place until 2025, Bonnyville Health Foundation is already preparing the sponsorship packages and advertising materials and will need to know if the town is once again interested in becoming the presenting sponsor. Also, the 2025 operating budget has not yet been approved, so a motion is required to earmark these funds. Administration is recommending that council approve becoming the presenting sponsor for the Bonnyville Health Foundation Gala annually and earmark this amount, the amount of $25,000, to be included in the annual operating budget until such time as council decides to sponsor this event at an alternative level.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments for administration? No? Okay, Councillor Johnson?
I'll make a quick comment. I don't mind doing this, supporting our local healthcare. All the money goes right back into the hospital that they raise. So really, it's an investment to turn that 25,000 into, you know, quite a bit. It's usually what, $500,000 that they raise. So that's a small part to get that to help improve, you know, what the initiatives that they do right in the hospital, and all the money does stay in our hospital. So I have no problem with that, and I would be happy to make the motion.
All right, thank you, Councillor Johnson. All in favor? Carried. Sorry, that was staff recommendation, right? I thought of it after.
I mean, yes,
That
I
is
make the
actual-
staff recommendation to become the presenting sponsor for $25,000.
Excellent, yeah. Yeah. Okay, next, the municipal census.
Thank you. The town conducted a municipal census during May to July 2024 to update our population to aid with the planning of community services and programming, as well as to ensure we are receiving the appropriate amount of funding for grants that are based on per capita numbers. Upon final review of the census data, the town's population has increased by 316 people for a total population of 6,675. This information will be sent to the province by the September 1st deadline and will be reflected as the town's population until the next federal census is completed in 2026. Administration would suggest completing another municipal census in 2027. And our recommendation is council accept for information the new census population of 6,675 for the town of Bonnyville.
Thank you. Any comments? Councillor McAvoy?
I think we owe a big thank you to the town staff and to all of those people that worked on this census, the contract census takers and everybody else. This is very important for us to have a true count of the population in Bonnyville. As we have seen in the past, the StatsCan numbers be rather skewed, where we lost 1,000 one year and gained it back the next year and those types of things. So a big thank you to them, and I will move acceptance of the information of the new census population of 6,675.
All right, thanks. Councillor Sharon just had a comment or?
Yeah,
question?
no, Councillor McAvoy
Hit the nail on the head.
hit the nail on the head. Thank you.
Councillor Langridge?
Just a question through to administration with, how did the final number turn out? Like, because it's the first time we've run a census with this council, is there like a percentage that you try to hit? Like, did we cover 100% of the households? Do we have a number of how many we were successful in getting to?
99%, I think, was our number this year, which was way higher than the last municipal census. So we were very good. And just for information, our shadow population was a little over 300. We cannot include those numbers into our population because it needs to be 10%, and we didn't hit that. But we do have about a shadow population of about 300 people.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thanks. All right, so we have a motion on the floor to accept the report for information. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next we've got 4 policies here. We've been talking about them at length at our governance and priorities meetings, but we'll hand it over to administration to speak on the first one, sporting event attendance funding policy.
Yes, the sporting event attendance funding policy would be for individuals or organizations who have qualified for provincial, national, or international competitions that will help with the cost of travel expenses. Funding levels would range from $200 to $600 for individual requests and $1,000 to $2,000 for team requests. Funding is intended for youth 18 and under, seniors over 65, and special needs competitions. Applications under this program are due throughout the year. All applications will be directed to administration, who will improve funding up to the levels listed in the policy. Funding requests greater than the parameters of the policy will be submitted to council for consideration. And we are asking that council approve policy number 24FN099, the sporting event attendance funding policy.
Okay, thank you. Any comments? All right, we're looking for a motion to approve this policy then as presented. Who wants to do it? Councillor Kushner?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I would take staff recommendation that we approve policy number 24FN099.
All in favor? Carried. Next, policy recreational cultural operating program policy.
Thank you. This policy has been drafted to support recreational or cultural organizations for their reoccurring and presently existing operating expenses. Funding should be focused on supporting facility operating costs and other programming operating costs as it relates to the organization's operations. Consideration for funding will include facility expenses up to 100% of the total costs and other programming expenses up to 30% of their total costs. Approvals will be based on the organization's projected revenues, expenses, and reserve funds. Applications under this program are due by August 31st of each year. Applications are received by administration, who will submit recommendations to council based on the information provided in the application during budget deliberations. Council will approve all funding amounts. And we are asking that council approve this policy.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Councillor Kushner?
No question, just a comment. As discussed at the governance priorities meeting, this is due to August 31st, and we will give some leniency, and you have contacted the different groups.
Once these, should all of the policies get approved tonight, we will be in contact with the groups over the next week to get them to come in. We'll go over the grant stream that their funding requests will now fall under, help fill out the paperwork, and try to make it as seamless as possible.
Yeah, so if it's a little bit past the 31st, are we still going to?
Oh, we're going to accept them for a bit yet.
Perfect.
For the
Thank
first
you.
year. You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, so we're looking for motion. Councillor Blanchett?
I'll move the staff recommendation that council approve policy number 24-FN098, recreational cultural operating program policy.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Next, the event sponsorships and donations policy.
Yes, this policy has been drafted to provide event sponsorships and donations that do not meet the criteria of other town grants and include things like golf tournaments, fundraising dinners and banquets, awards dinners, conferences, or events outside of the town boundaries. All these types of requests tend to be lower. The applicant will not have to submit a funding application, just a letter of the request. Administration will review requests as they are received and direct to other town grant programs if applicable. Funding requests up to $1,500 will be considered by the CAO. Requests over this amount will be forwarded to council for consideration, and the funding will be allocated on a first-come, first-served basis. And we ask that council approve this policy.
All right, any comments? Looking for a motion to approve this policy. Councillor Johnson.
I'll make the motion that council approve policy 24FN100, event sportsman sponsorship and donation policy.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. And finally, the ad hoc request policy.
And this is the last policy to do with the grant funding streams, and it is designed for requests that don't fit under any other town grant program. The previous recipients of this type of funding would have been the Chamber of Commerce for their operating grant and their recognition wall sponsorship, Community Futures for their beautification grant. It just wouldn't have fit within any of the other 6 streams. Requests for amounts over $1,000 are due by August 31st, prior to the year the funds are being requested for. Applications for funding less than $1,000 are due throughout the year. Applications are directed to administration, who can approve up to the $1,000 level, and all other requests will be forwarded to council for consideration. And we ask that council approve this policy.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, questions? Looking for a motion to approve them, please. Anybody? Councillor Johnson?
Let me try and read again. I make the motion that we approve policy 24FN101, the ad hoc request policy.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have our walk-on item, the Alberta Care Conference sponsorship request.
Thank you.
We'll give it to administration first.
Oh, okay. So we've received an email from the Executive Director of Alberta Care asking council to sponsor the 2024 Alberta Care Conference being held in Bonnyville from September 11th to the 13th. The request also includes a donation for their silent auction. The Alberta Care Fall Conference is an annual event that offers support and tools, provides tours, and is an opportunity to network with colleagues. Alberta Care provides training, networking opportunities in the solid waste and recycling industry. There is currently one member of council from the town who is a designated voting member at the Alberta Care meetings. The town has not sponsored this event in the past, but we have always attended. As this event is being held in town, administration is recommending that council sponsor the event at the silver level in the amount of $2,000.
All right, thank you. Open it up for questions or comments. Councillor Sharoon?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I attended the conference in Camrose last year. I can say there was about 300 delegates from all across Alberta. I would support this motion, as they are going to be staying in Bonnyville, and most of the meals will be here. There's a couple events that are outside of town. Most of the tours are going to be within the MD, as the MD is hosting it this year. The sessions will all be held here in Bonnyville. Perhaps as we go down the road, it would be nice to see if we could ever host it and show off our steel company, our lagoon, and perhaps our town landfill, as we're very proud of how they're operated and run. So unfortunately, since this is MD1, we're not going to get to see some of those, but all these sessions are at the C2 and the GenMech Hall, so everybody will get a good chance to view our community. So based on that, I'll make a motion to purchase a silver level sponsorship for the 2024 Alberta Care Conference at the cost of $2,000.
All right, thank you, Councillor Schroen. Councillor Kushner?
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. What are we purchasing? There's nothing in here about the silver level
What is-
sponsorship.
what
Where
do
is
we
it?
receive for it?
I don't see it anywhere.
At the very, I don't have a page number. This page,
Yeah.
Yeah,
silver level, it does say for those who sponsor are entitled to a free exhibit space, a value of $800.
Oh,
for those who sponsor, they're entitled to free exhibit space. So are we going to be sending anybody to this?
We've just did up the, we will be talking as administration tomorrow about who we can possibly send.
Okay, so we're looking into it. So there's no advertising about the Toronto Bonneville, there's none of that kind of stuff, it's just the exhibit.
Not that I'm aware of, besides having our logo on some of their materials.
Okay, thank you.
yeah, it is very unfortunate that this conference is happening so soon and they're just asking us now and, causing administration to get together and put a booth together. It's very unfortunate for the last minute timing on this, but Councillor Langridge? No. Oh, sorry. Councillor Schroen?
I will bring those comments forth to the organizing committee as well.
Okay, please do. Thank you. All right, so you have a motion on the floor, and that is for the silver level sponsorship. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, committee reports. Where did I end last? Okay, Councillor Kushner.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. So we'll go back into July 11th. We went to the Kind Man breakfast at the Bonneville Native Friendship Center, sorry. Very, very good, I thought. They're doing a lot of good things there for men to help them out in certain areas. It was a good breakfast, too. That was very good. Good networking. July 13th, Special Olympics. We went to Coal Lake, pretty much the whole council. That's the first time I've ever been to a Special Olympics event, and it was very interesting. And I love, we could really learn something from them, from their enthusiasm of how they go about things, that's for sure. On the 17th, I helped out with Tim Horton's Camp Day. On July 18th, I had a regular scheduled BRFA meeting. Plus, on the 18th, we were in council chambers with Alberta Muni's take on Bill 20 that the government was putting through. On July 19th, along with Madam Mayor, went on the four-wing tour of Four Wing, which was really interesting, really smoky, but it was really neat to sit right next to a jet engine and have them shoot it off. So that was quite the experience I'll never ever get to do again, I'm sure. July 20th, unfortunately, Sash Jordan couldn't come along, but we did have MLA Rick McIver here, and we had supper with him and took him bowling. So that was our Sash Jordan, I guess. July 21st, the air show. July 25th, attended a DMO meeting on behalf of Madam Mayor on Zoom. July 29th, we had a special council meeting here. And then August 9th, went to the Chamber of Commerce golf tournament. That was really good. August 12th, had the Dragonfly picture here, thanking us for our donations. August 12th, again, went to the Rolling Barrage group of motorcycles coming through helping with PTSD awareness at the Shaw House. August 15th, the BRFA regular scheduled meeting again. August 16th, the Dragonfly Golf Tournament with other members of council. They raised $40,000, so that was quite a good tournament for them. August 17th, went to the Ardmore Fire Hall for their open house breakfast. August 20th, governance priorities meeting. August 22nd, came to town office and met with a pioneer family that I believe they are in Philadelphia right now. And two of the lakes are actually named after them, Charlotte Lake and, well, we call it Barrier Lake. How do they say it? Barrière. Yeah. And then on the 24th, the Pontiac Golf Tournament, and that's all I have.
Okay, I will try to be as brief as possible. The Kind Man dinner or breakfast in July, the Special Olympics, which was very enjoyable to go and watch the youth and adults that participated in it. The BRFA meeting on July 18th, on the 19th, along with, I believe it was Councillor Langridge. Had the opportunity to meet with Premier Smith when she came through town, and met with the mayors and reeves from the area. On the 21st, the air show, the special council meeting on the 29th. August 1st, the Bonnyville Regional Water Services Commission meeting. 15th, the BRFA. The 17th, the Ardmore Fire Department open house breakfast with the chief, which was quite well attended by the community, and it was a good show for the for the station out there, the BRFA. The 20th, the Governance and Priority Committee meeting, and on the 23rd, I had the pleasure of a preparation meeting for upcoming bargaining with the Bonnyville Regional Fire Authority Union. And a few others in there that Phil mentioned, but I'll pass it on to Kayla.
Thank you. July 11th, I also attended the Friendship Center for their Kind Man breakfast. July 12th, we had a working group meeting with the FCSS board and staff in preparation for a meeting with the province. July 13th, also attended the Special Olympics. July 15th, an events committee meeting. July 16th, I attended the Leica Community Garden to help with finishing up a wellness coalition project over there. July 17th, we had a meeting with 2 assistant deputy ministers from the province, along with elected officials and senior administration from both the town and the MD, as well as our FCSS department and community stakeholders, and that was to discuss seniors' needs in the community. July 18th, the AB Muni session on Bill 20. July 19th, an FCSS AA Finance Committee meeting. July 20th and 21st, hosted Minister McIver and attended the air show. July 22nd, a special board meeting with Lakeland Lodge and Housing. July 24th, an events committee meeting. July 25th, an FCSS board meeting. August 3rd, volunteered for Hang in the 30s. August 9th, I golfed in the Chambers golf tournament. August 12th, FCSS AA Finance Committee meeting again. August 16th, I golfed in the Dragonflies charity tournament. I'm basically PGA ready now, you guys, so. August 19th, SPCA board meeting. August 20th, Governance and Priorities Committee meeting. I'm flashing back to hole 11. August 21st, Lakeland Lodge and Housing board meeting. August 22nd, an events committee retreat for planning 2025 events. Lots of exciting things on the list. And August 26th, SPCA policy committee meeting. And that's it.
Okay, I'm probably missing a few in between here, but I had a lot of fun events and fundraisers that I attended: Rolling Barrage, Kind Man Breakfast, Special Olympics Bocce Ball Tournament, the Air Show. I attended a walkathon for the Native Métis Rehab Center. I went to the Kihiwan Powwow. And then as far as meetings for BRFA, I had meetings on the 13th, 15th, and 18th of July. ABMA, I had meetings August 1st, 22nd. I attended a conference on the Francophone economy in Halifax. And then for the C2, I had meetings on August 12th and 20th. And then just this past Monday, I attended a tour of the Strathcona Performing Arts Center here in the town, where we welcomed Minister Fur. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On July 13th, I also attended the Special Olympics, and I can echo Councillor Kushner's comments on that. The enthusiasm of the athletes, their chanting, the supporting each other, we can all learn something from them, and they did a phenomenal job. The 15th was the Ag Society, 17th Assistant Deputy Ministers meeting, the 21st the Air Show, special meeting of the Lakeland Lodge and Housing on the 22nd, special council meeting on the 29th, on the 3rd Hang in the 30s, Ag Society on the 12th, along with photos with the Dragonfly. I just want to mention about the Fall Fair coming up in September. We're going to have one more meeting, but we're ready to rock. Indian relays, chariot ponies, and there's one more I'm forgetting, but they're all going to, the Ranch Rodeo. Everything's a go again this year. We have 10 new, that was at our meeting, there were 10 new confirmed for the barbecue bash contestants coming, so that's growing as well. So yeah, everything's kind of fitting together, so we hope that the rain holds out for that, and yeah, as it comes closer, I'll let all of council know. The 20th priority governance and committee meeting, and on the 21st, we had our Lakeland Lodge and Housing Foundation meeting in Glendon. And between the Bonnyville and Coal Lake Lodges, we are almost at capacity the first time. So yeah, and thanks to administration, they're going to the seniors drop-in center, they're going all over, and they're doing sales calls, and basically it's working, so good on them. And that is all I have to report.
All righty, I will buzz through this as quick as possible. We'll start with July on the 11th. I delivered Sebastian to all the not-for-profit organizations. On the 15th, an events committee meeting. On the 18th, the Alberta Meetings Engagement session. On the 19th, a meeting with Premier Smith and other delegates from the area. On the 20th, dinner with Rick McIver. 21st, attended the Air Show. On the 23rd, we had a Winter Games committee meeting. On the 29th, a special council meeting. On the 9th, I attended the Chambers Golf Tournament. Again, on the 13th, we hosted interviews for the Winter Games manager position. On the 16th, attended the Dragonfly golf event. Then on the 20th, the GOP committee. Some more interviews for the Winter Games on the 21st. And then today, I was out at the Bonnyville Shooting Association grounds to meet with Biathlon Alberta for a potential venue for the upcoming Winter Games. And then that's it for me.
Alrighty, so July 11th, I helped Councillor Langridge deliver the beef to different organizations. July the 12th, the FCSS prep meeting for the ADMs. July 13th, I attended the Special Olympics bocce ball in Coal Lake. July the 15th, we had a events committee meeting. July the 20th, went for dinner with Rick McIver. July 21st, the Air Show. July 25th, I had the opportunity to attend the change of command at 4 Wing CFB Coal Lake, where they said goodbye to Colonel Turin, pardon me. And they welcomed Colonel Hickey in, so got to meet him and excited to see him out at more events. July 26th, I attended the Bonnyville and District Historical Society's movie night. They played Night at the Museum, and it was pretty well attended for the first go-around. July 29th, special council meeting. August 1st, water commission meeting. August the 2nd, I attended the Luke Maneras concert that was here in town, that was brought in by the Filipino Society and the Gab store, and gave greetings from the town. August the 3rd, I attended Hang in the 30s, where we delivered supper. August the 12th, was here for the Dragonfly photo, and then we had a C2 board meeting that evening. August the 20th, Governance and Priorities meeting. August 21st, Historical Society meeting. August 22nd, Events Committee retreat. And I attended the FCSS Men's Night at the Legion. August the 23rd and 24th, I was out at the Kihiwan Powwow. And that's all for me.
Okay, back to our regular agenda. Under correspondence, we have quite a few items here. I'm not going to go through each one of them. I guess we'll just note we do have a couple of invitations, one being the Northeastern Unicor Annual Trail Ride. Neither Councillor Kushner or I can make it, along with many other members. But if you'd like to join the trail ride, let Tracy know. Then we also have an invitation for Lakeland FASD second annual mocktail event, which will be held here in our parking lot, I believe. As well, we have a walk-on, just to note that, because it wasn't there before, the Welcome Week Community Barbecue on September 2nd. Okay, any questions in regards to correspondence or anything I missed out on? Councillor Kushner?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Just a question through the administration about the CCBF that was announced by the province. I'm assuming we've received this funding before, and if we haven't, it's nice to get it. But is it the same amount? Is it less? Is it more?
It goes up and down a little bit every year. It was formerly the gas tax fund, and now it's called the Canada Community Building Fund. So they've changed the acronym, and because it's a federal agreement, we'll have to enter into a new agreement with them. So they're just letting us know that what we had budgeted for is what we're going to be getting in the fall here.
Okay, so it's changed, the name has changed, that's why I didn't recognize it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or any comments in regards to any of the correspondence or questions for administration at this time? No? All right. We have quite a few items in camera, so I will look for a motion to move into camera, please. Councillor Blanchette?
I'll move us in camera, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor?